Letting go sounds like something clean. A moment, a decision, a sentence. I'm ready, I've let go. But the truth is, letting go is rarely a single act. It is a long, painful process of loosening fingers that are clamped around something your heart still calls home. And at Christmas, when everything around you seems to whisper about belonging, connection, tradition, and togetherness, the pain of letting go can feel unbearable. Letting go is not only about death. Sometimes you have to let go of someone who is still alive. Sometimes you are letting go of a relationship that isn't healthy anymore. Sometimes you're letting go of a version of someone who has changed into someone you no longer recognize. Sometimes you're letting go of the fantasy you carried about how things should be. Your chest might know all of this before your mind does. There's that tightness when you see their name, that ache when you pass the place you once went together. That sting when you catch yourself planning a future and realize you are still writing them into seams where they no longer belong. Psychologically, human beings are not built to release easily. Your nervous system loves patterns, routines, familiarity. When someone has been part of your emotional landscape, your brain has literally wired itself around them. Their voice, their presence, their habits, your rituals together. These things form pathways in you. Letting go is not just moving on. It is walking through your own nervous system with a pair of shaking hands, slowly dismantling roots you've walked 1,000 times. No wonder it hurts. Sometimes people around you want the story to be simpler. They say things like, "You just have to let go, accept it, and move on. It's time to close that chapter. This is for the best." Maybe they're not wrong about the facts, but they're often blind to the cost. They don't see you lying awake, replaying conversations you can't change. They don't see you opening and closing message threads you will never send. They don't see you standing in front of a wardrobe, staring at an old sweater that still smells like a time when things were okay. They don't see the way Christmas lights hit objects that used to be shared, a mug, an ornament, a photograph, and how your chest tightens as if someone is pulling you back toward the past with invisible hooks. Letting go hurts because it feels at first like betrayal. If you loosen your grip, are you saying that what you had didn't matter? If you stop fighting to keep them, are you admitting that they weren't worth fighting for? If you stop hoping they will change, or come back, or call, are you giving up on love itself? There is a childlike part of you that still believes loyalty means holding on until your fingers bleed. That part of you equates letting go with abandoning them, or abandoning who you once were with them. But that isn't what letting go truly is. To understand the pain, you first need to understand what you are actually releasing. You are not letting go of love. You are letting go of the idea that love alone can fix everything. You are not letting go of memories. You are letting go of the demand that life must become like those memories again. You are not letting go of a person's value. You are letting go of your attempt to control their choices, their presence, their timing, their staying. When someone pulls away, when they choose differently, when they cannot give you the relationship you long for, your attachment system often responds by tightening. Maybe if I love more, maybe if I understand more, maybe if I wait longer. There is something noble in that. Love is supposed to be patient. But there comes a point when your patience stops being love and becomes self-erasure. When all the effort flows in one direction, when your life shrinks around someone who doesn't meet you halfway, the cost becomes your own soul. Letting go is the moment you slowly admit, I cannot force you to stay. I cannot force you to be who I hoped you would be. I cannot keep my life on pause while waiting for you to return to a version of yourself that no longer exists. That admission breaks something. It also begins to heal something. At Christmas, the tension is brutal. Your mind is full of winter pictures with them still in the frame. You had images of shared dinners, shared traditions, shared jokes, shared gifts. You might have bought something for them without realizing you did it. You might catch yourself thinking, I should send them this, and then remember that you are supposed to be letting go. People talk about the magic of the season. For you, The magic feels cruel. You see couples hand in hand under lights, parents hugging their kids, friends clinking glasses, and a voice in you screams, "I was supposed to have that with you." The pain of letting go is sharpened by comparison. You are not only grieving what you had, but what you believed everybody else gets to keep. So how do you bear it? First, by allowing yourself to tell the truth. Not the pretty truth, the raw one. I did not want to let go. I wanted this to work. I loved you more than you know. I feel abandoned. I feel angry. I feel ashamed that I'm still thinking about you. Your pain grows heavier when you add judgment on top of it. When you tell yourself you shouldn't feel this much, this long, this deeply, you're not weak for struggling. You're not pathetic for missing someone who wasn't good for you. Your brain and heart are simply slower than reality, and that is normal. You learn them over time. You will unlearn them over time. Second, recognize the difference between love and longing. Love wants the well-being of the other, even when it doesn't benefit you. Longing wants the person back, exactly as they were, exactly where they were. Both are human. Both will show up, but only one is safe to feed. If they've died, your love can remain alive without chaining you to permanent paralysis. If they have walked away, your love can still exist while you stop walking after them. You don't have to hate them to let go. Hate is just love that's been burned and twisted. It keeps them inside you just as tightly. Letting go is sometimes quieter than hate. It is the slow, steady decision to stop picking at the wound, to stop rereading old messages every night, to stop stalking their life for clues about why you weren't enough, to stop writing internal speeches you'll never deliver. Third, understand what holding on is doing to you. Ask yourself, honestly, when I refuse to let go, how am I living? Am I keeping new people at a distance because I am still bound to someone who isn't here? Am I saying no to experiences because I want to remain loyal to a bond that no longer exists in reality? Am I punishing myself as if pain is the only way to prove I really love them? Pain is not proof of love. Endless suffering does not honor anyone. If anything, it dishonors the part of you they once cared about. The Christmas version of this is subtle. You might, for example, refuse invitations, refuse joy, refuse warmth because you feel like you are not allowed to enjoy anything that doesn't include them. But what if honoring them, or honoring what you once had, could also look like letting yourself live, not replacing them, not forgetting them, but allowing yourself to feel a moment of warmth with friends, to laugh at a joke, to sing a carol, to light a candle and whisper, "I miss you, and I am still here." The pain of letting go becomes slightly more bearable when you give it a purpose. Letting go is not you saying, "It didn't matter." It is you saying, "It mattered so much that it changed me, and I refuse to use that change only to bleed. I will use it to grow." Maybe you learned what you will never again tolerate. Maybe you learned how deeply you can love. Maybe you learned the signs of your own self-abandonment. Maybe you learned just how fragile everything is. These lessons are not a fair trade. Nothing makes the loss worth it. But as long as you are alive, you have a choice to let the pain harden you or soften you. Letting go often begins as a defensive act, a tired whisper of, "I can't take this anymore." Over time, if you are gentle with yourself, it can become an act of mercy. Mercy toward yourself, first of all. Mercy toward the exhausted parts of you that have stood at the same emotional door, knocking and waiting for far too long. At some point, you turn away. Not because you don't care anymore, but because you understand the door is not going to open. Or if it does, it will not lead to the place you keep imagining. And as you turn away, the grief spikes again. You feel briefly like you're losing them a second time. In a way, you are. The fantasy version, the future you built around them, the role they played in your identity. That's why letting go hurts as much as it does. You are not only releasing them, you are releasing the version of yourself who existed only in relation to them, Who are you without that identity? Without being their partner, their child, their savior, their constant support, their secret option? That question can feel terrifying, but it's also the doorway to something sacred. You get to meet yourself again, not as half of a story, not as an extension of someone else's narrative, but as a full person with desires, fears, talents, flaws, needs, and possibilities that exist whether they are here or not. Christmas can be one of the hardest times to take this step. Everything in you may want to cling one more season, just one more. One more year of secretly hoping they will call. One more December of rereading old cards, of pretending the story is paused, not finished. Maybe this year you can do something different, even if it's small. Write them the letter you will never send. Pour into it everything you wish you could say. The love, the anger, the disappointments, the gratitude, the apologies, the wishes, the goodbye. Then keep it somewhere safe, or burn it, or fold it into the pages of a book. This is not magic. It will not instantly erase your pain, but it gives your heart a place to put what it has been carrying in circles. You can also create a small ritual that marks the transition. Light a candle for what was. Say their name. Name out loud or in your mind what you are letting go of. I am letting go of waiting for you to come back like before. I am letting go of checking if you have changed. I am letting go of punishing myself for not being enough. I am letting go of living in a version of the past that no longer exists. And then, gently you add, I am not letting go of the fact that you mattered. That will stay. Letting go does not mean erasing the chapter. It means accepting that it is a chapter, not the entire book. The pain will not vanish because the calendar changes. January will not automatically feel lighter. The heart does not obey dates. But each time you choose not to feed the old story quite as much, each time you redirect your energy towards something that is alive now, you are honoring your own life. You are allowed to build new traditions. You are allowed to hang new ornaments on the tree. You are allowed to sit at a table with different faces and let warmth touch your skin without shutting it out in loyalty to your loss. You are allowed one day to love again, in a different way, at a different depth, with a different understanding. That future does not insult your past. It testifies to your capacity to heal. The pain of letting go is the pain of unclenching. Your whole body has been gripping, bracing, holding. No wonder you are tired. No wonder you sometimes feel like, if you loosen even a little, everything will fall apart. But what if the opposite is true? What if loosening is the only thing that will stop you from splitting in two? This Christmas, you do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to demonstrate that you are over it, or that you are still drowning in it. You do not need to fit anyone's timetable or expectation. You only need to be honest with yourself. I am hurting because I loved. I am scared to let go because part of me believes that if I stop holding on, it means it didn't matter. But I am beginning to see that letting go is not disrespect. It is acceptance. It's me saying, this is what happened. This is who you were to me. This is what we will never be, and I will carry you forward in a way that doesn't destroy me. Letting go is not one big choice. It is 100 small ones. Choosing not to send that message, choosing to attend that dinner even though you'll miss them there, choosing to put your phone down instead of checking their social media, choosing to open your curtains in the morning instead of lying in the dark with your grief. Each choice hurts a little, but each choice also grows a small, quiet strength. One day, you will look back and realize the pain of letting go did not disappear. It changed form. It became something softer, less sharp. A sadness that can sit beside joy at the same table. A memory that can exist without tearing you out of the present. You will realize you didn't move on from them. You moved forward with yourself. And that, in the deepest sense, is what letting go really is. Not dropping love, not erasing history, but releasing your grip on what cannot be changed, so that your hands are free enough to hold what is still to come.